So you know that the general theme of Chanukah is the conflict that exists between the Yevonim, the Greeks, and the Jewish people. And in a broader sense, Chazal explained that that struggle is not just a historical struggle that once upon a time happened. It's a struggle in philosophy between Torah, authentic Torah, and what's called Chachma Yevon is Greek philosophy, the world of secular wisdom. And so the question is, what does that mean for us? What does that mean for us? None of us, for the most part, are really tempted with Aristotelian thought and Greek culture and Greek philosophy. So what does that conflict between Greek philosophy and authentic Torah mean for us? So one way of thinking of it is as follows, is that there's a way of, the way of Greek philosophy, and what that means in a broader sense, is engaging in Torah while thinking that all you're studying is something that's on the page. That's it. So you're reading a parsha in Chumash about Yosef being sold to slavery. All you're reading about is a story that once upon a time. That's it. Nothing amazing. Nothing more transcendent than that. You're learning Gemara about the halachas of Chanukah. You're learning a Gemara about the halachas of the Avodah in the Beis Hamikdash. You name it. What's happening at that moment? Nothing. You're learning information. It's phenomenal, it's complex, it's beautiful, but it's information. That's called looking at Torah like Greek philosophy. Greek philosophy doesn't just mean a certain body of information. Greek philosophy means looking at Torah from a perspective where all Torah is just a body of information. So what is Chanukah? Chanukah means the Jewish people reconnecting ourselves to that basic faith, which is that Torah is much more than what you're reading on the page. That when a Jew at that moment sits down and opens a Chumash and is reading words that convey a story of how Yosef was sold into slavery, much bigger things are happening at that time. There's a universe called Chumash. And the portal into that universe, into that spiritual divine space, is by reading these words, talking about a story that happened to Yosef, but Torah is much bigger than that. Torah is a metzias, Torah is alive and breathing, it's an organism. Mitzvahs are alive, mitzvahs are reality. Tzitzis are not strings. The strings that we put on are ways for us to enter into that place that's called tzitzis. Tefillin are not straps of leather. They're straps of leather we put on in order to access that universe, that part of the soul which is called tefillin. Shabbos is not just 24 hours. There's a 24-hour period during the week which is a doorway into that universe that's called Shabbos. That's Torah. The conflict between Greek philosophy and Torah is how are we going to think of Yiddishkeit? Is Yiddishkeit something that we can fit into a box? Is Yiddishkeit something that just is? Tzitzis is just strings, tefillin are just straps, Shabbos is just 24 hours, Torah is just information on a page. Is that all there is? The Yontiv of Chanukah celebrates the Jewish people's reaffirming and a commitment to a faith that Torah is much bigger than what we see. That's the Yontiv of Chanukah. The Torah is much, much bigger than what we see. And all we're doing when we learn is that we're touching the edge of a universe that's much, much bigger. And the Torah, the unbelievable gift of Torah is that the Rebbeinu Shalom gave us very down-to-earth ways to access much bigger places. That's the beauty of Yiddishkeit. So every time we light the Chanukah candles, every time we do a mitzvah, the avoid of Chanukah is to appreciate how deep that act is. When you give a quarter to tzedakah, even something simple like that, it's much bigger than just giving a quarter. By giving that quarter, you're accessing something much, much bigger within yourself, within the universe, within the Rabbanu Shalom. And that's an amazing experience. Hashem shall we should be zeichet to b'mechazik that emunah and to enhance the victory of Torah over Chacham Yevanis. And each and every one of us should be able to enjoy the light of the Or HaGanuz, the light of Chanukah. B'vias kol tzedek m'her v'imenu. Amen.
Thank you, Hashem. Thank you, Hashem.